Hey everyone, Tactics here with another War Within Hero Talent Tree preview, this time taking a look at the Templar tree for Prot and Ret Paladins, mostly focusing on this from a Prot perspective, of course, as I'm a tank main with a lot of time spent playing Prot Paladin over the last few tiers. It's been my main in Mythic Raiding for a couple tiers now, as well as my Mythic Plus main this season, so a lot of time on that. Was not a huge fan of the support-like hero talent tree we got initially a few weeks back, so hopefully we see something that speaks to me a little bit more here. As for the other tank specs, I already have a video out on the Guardian tree, the Elun's Chosen kind of arcane based tree on my channel, and the Colossus tree for Prot Warriors. I'll be posting a video on that shortly over the next day or so. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel to keep up to date with all this content, as well as anything in the future for the War Within. For now, though, let's focus on Templars here and the big keystone talent at the top here, Light's Guidance. So here for Prot Paladins, Eye of Tyr is going to be replaced with Hammer of Light for 12 seconds after it's cast. Okay, so you press Eye of Tyr, you get a new button for 12 seconds, and this button hammers down your enemies with the power of the light, deals holy damage up to 5 targets, and it calls down Empyrean hammers from the sky to strike 3 nearby enemies for holy damage, and it costs 5 holy power here, so it's a pretty steep cost on this ability, so you'd expect it to do a fair amount of damage. You also have a very short time to cast it, basically only a 12-second window after Eye of Tyr. My guess is, you'll Eye of Tyr and then try and build up and cast it ASAP, but, we'll see. On the left side here, immediate choice node, Hammer of Light and Eye of Tyr deal 30% increased damage when striking only one enemy, reduced by 6% for each additional target. So a little boost to not only single target, but anything below the 5 target cap of these abilities. Nice little boost there. The other choice here is Divine Toll grants up to 100% increased damage to your next 3 judgments when striking only one enemy. This amount is reduced by 20% for each additional target struck. So a similar boost there, but for the Divine Toll talent. Okay, interesting. I assume there's not going to be too much choice here because these talents basically do the same thing for different abilities. You're just going to do whichever one does more damage in that situation. So, we'll wait and see. But my guess is this one is going to be better just because you're going to get to cast this like twice as often, essentially, right? Because Eye of Tyr, Hammer of Light, both going to be the same-ish cooldown, right? Depending on your talents, below a minute or a minute. Divine Toll, same deal. It's either a minute or like 55 seconds or something, or maybe if you take that talent that is almost never taken for CDR, it's like less than that. But my guess here is that you're just gonna take the one that does more damage. So they do the same thing. Moving down, Shake the Heavens. After casting Hammer of Light, you call down an Imperium hammer on a nearby target every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. So kind of like Resonance here, but with Hammer of Light. I don't think these hammers are giving like holy power, Empyrean hammers are giving like holy power or anything like that, so just some extra damage, unless there's synergy later on in the tree. Empyrean hammer, okay, extra M. When Empyrean hammer critically strikes, 60% of his damage is dealt to a nearby enemy, or to nearby enemies. Enemies hit by this effect deal 5% reduced damage to you for 8 seconds. So I assume this also can hit the target. If it's like in pure single target, for example, are you just going to get this nice 5% DR on them? Is this uncapped? I assume that as well. So this could just be, a nice little DR with relatively low uptime. I guess depends, because you'll be able to cast this, and then this you'll have additional hammers for 8 seconds after the actual casting of that. So not amazing uptime, 16 seconds I guess of uptime per cycle. Again, unless there's other ways to cast get more Empyrean hammers. So we'll see. Move down the tree here. When you cast Eye of Tyr, you gain Shield of Vengeance at 10% effectiveness. Wake of Ashes, Shield of Vengeance. I believe that's the ret defensive, right? Let's just do a little quick Shield of Vengeance. Look up Shield of Vengeance. Wow, Shield of Vengeance. Okay, here it is. Yes, this is the ret defense. So you create a barrier of light, absorbs damage, and then it blows up, equal to the total amount absorbed. So you get some absorb shield here when you cast Eye of Tyr, small, and it deals a little bit of damage as well. Okay. Higher calling, protection, Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, and Judgment. I assume that's all the Crusader Strike replacements as well. Extend the duration of this Shake the Heavens. So during this 8-second window, which procs every 2 seconds, you'll be able to extend it probably, you know, at least by 50%, maybe more, depending on your globals and whatnot. So that's nice. You'll get some more Empyrean Hammers, which extends the duration of this buff by an additional, you know, 4, 6, 8 seconds. We'll see. So that's nice there. You get more uptime on that DR, more damage from these hammers. It's pretty cool. Bonds of Fellowship is a choice note here. You receive 20% less damage from Blessing of Sacrifice, and each time its target takes damage, you gain move speed up to 40%. Okay, a little bit of move boost, a little bit less damage taken if you want to sack someone when you're also taking a lot of damage. The other choice here is Unrelenting Charger. Divine Seed lasts 2 seconds longer. Ooh, let's go. Big movement. And increase your move speed by an additional 30% for the first 3 seconds. So juiced up steeds here. That's really nice. I like that one a lot. I assume this may have a place again if you're taking a lot of damage and you want to sack someone also and make that a little safer. But for move speed, this just seems like super powerful. Makes those steeds feel a lot better, especially if you're already taking all the steed talents. Those are some juiced up steeds for sure. Moving down here, another choice node on the left. Calling down an Empyrean Hammer has a 10% chance to reset the cooldown of Hammer of Wrath and make it usable on any target regardless of health. Okay, so Hammer of Wrath procs based on these Empyrean Hammers. Not sure how many you're going to actually get, right? So this calls down on 3 nearby enemies. If you only have 1 enemy, is that only 1 hammer? Or is that just going to be 3 hammers on 1 enemy? I'm going to assume it's that one based on how this tree is designed. And then you're going to get, what, 4 hammers here? So that's 7 hammers so far, I think, right? Yeah, 7 hammers. Maybe you can get another, let's say another 3 hammers there to make it an even number of 10 hammers. So from those 10 hammers with a 10% chance, you're going to get like 1 reset, right? It's like, it's kind of Casting Judgment increases the damage of your Empyrean Hammer by 10% for 10 seconds. Multiple applications may overlap. It's like an Iron Fur type system there for Empyrean Hammer damage. Again, both these feel a little but I'm guessing I'm missing some Empyrean Hammer stuff. So let's keep going. Shield of the Righteous and Word of Glory calls down. Okay, there it is. Yeah. So now you're just going to constantly get hammers because Shield of the Righteous is something you press a lot. Word of Glory is something you press a lot. So whenever you cast a spender now, you get a hammer. So that kind of makes a lot of these make more sense, right? So you're going to be getting now, I mean, this is just a perma DR with that talent. So you get a perma 5% DR on targets. Obviously this proc rate is going to be, you're going to get more than just 1 in this section now. This could be a lot better though. But I feel like getting procs for like Hammer of Wrath, they feel good, right? I play style wise, I think I prefer this one, but obviously again, damage actual number wise, this might be better. What else? When Shake the Heavens is active, this effect calls down an additional Empyrean Hammer. So when you have this buff up, which you can extend with higher calling, your Shield of the Righteous and Word of Glory will call down 2 Empyrean Hammers. So again, just lots of Empyrean Hammers. You're just throwing hammers. There's going to be a ton of hammers shooting out of you. That's, you know, it's a common playstyle. You know, Crusaders in Diablo 3, tons of hammers everywhere. I think there's Paladins in the new Last Epoch as well with a hammer build. So Hammerdins, let's go. Return of the Hammerdin. Undisputed Ruling on the right side here. Hammer of Light applies judgment to its target and increases your haste by 15% for 6 seconds. So Hammer of Light's the actual button here that you press on the same CD as I have tier. Gives you a 6-second haste buff. That's a pretty short haste buff, honestly. For Prod as well, actually you get 3 Holy Power for Eye of Tier. That's a good quality of life change as well. Will make it easier to, you'll Eye of Tier, you already have 3 Holy Power, so you could set up yourself to have 2 Holy Power, Eye of Tier, and then Insta Hammer of Light if that's something you wanted to do. So that's a nice little quality of life thing and a little boost there. Very short haste buff though. Very short haste buff. So maybe a little longer. Maybe make it a little longer, but still, it's nice to get some more haste. Paladin loves haste. No matter how much haste you have, haste is good. Haste feels nice. Lower GCD will let you throw out more of these extending abilities, so that's pretty nice here. Kind of lots of synergy within this tree, which is cool to see. I really like that. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Thunderlord tree, or whatever that was called, the Mountain Thane for Prot Warriors, right? You had all that like lightning synergy and thunderclap synergy, and it was really cool. So it's nice to see a very similar kind of synergistic tree coming for Prot Paladin. And their big capstone here at the bottom, you gain a stack of Light's Deliverance when you call down an Empyrean Hammer. So every time you call down all these hammers from all these different sources, you get a stack. At 50 stacks, when you cast your main ability, Hammer of Light, It empowers you for 12 seconds. Cast Hammer of Light an additional time for free. Okay. So basically, you're going to cast Hammer of Light, right? You or cast Tier. You have 12 seconds to cast Hammer of Light. If you have, oops, didn't want to do that. If you have 50 stacks when you do this, you can then have another 12 seconds to cast Hammer of Light again. And like I said, if we're talking about the number of hammers here, let's say one cast of Hammer of Light is basically equivalent to giving you 10 hammers over like 12 seconds ish. And then you have the Shield of the Righteous additional hammers. So maybe you'll do this. I don't think you'll be able to get 50 hammers in the cooldown of an Eye of Tyr. Because what is that? You look at the talents real quick. Close that. I could have just gone there. The CDR 25% reduced cooldown, right? So it's like a 45-second cooldown. It's a pretty short cooldown. Are you gonna be able to get 50 stacks in that time? I mean, maybe. I think probably more consistently it'll be every other cast of this ability you'll get an empowered one. But I guess the other question is, does the empowered one actually give you enough to make every single one an empowered one? Because you're going to be gaining a bunch more hammers from more Shake the Heavens, more extension to that. I wonder if it's just additive time too. So if you have Shake the Heavens already active, does it just add 8 more seconds to Shake the Heavens if you press Hammer of Light again? That kind of thing. Can you get, a super long? Can you extend this? Because if you can do that, for example, right, that's just 16 seconds of Shake the Heavens, and that buys you a ton more time to extend, which could be interesting. So I mean that there's a lot of synergy within this tree. It's I love throwing hammers. Throwing hammers is fun. Throwing hammers is cool. So I'm a big fan of that. I think thematically I do like this a lot better than Lightsmith, because I was not a fan of throwing those weapons down, to be honest with you. This whole support-ish half thing. I really hope this is competitive, but I guess that kind of brings the problem of these hero talents of, hey, that playstyle kind of sucks, but it's just way better throughput wise. I'm going to be playing that. That's just who I am as a player. So I'm really hoping maybe Lightsmith gets reworked, or maybe this is just way better than Lightsmith that you don't want to play it. Overall, though, decently optimistic about this one. How do you guys feel about the hammer slinging fantasy? We're hoping to see something else maybe. Let me know down in the comments below. And remember to subscribe and be on the lookout for more deep dive videos like this one for the other tank specs. Again, Colossus Tree coming out very soon for Prot Warriors. Already have the Illumin's Chosen one out for Guardian Druids, and everything else that we're going to be learning about the War Within in the coming weeks and months going to get posted on my channel. Of course, I need to give a massive shout out to all of my Patreon supporters who help to make all of this content possible. So thank you, and thanks to everyone watching as well. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.